I respect your right to be vegan. Therefore, you should respect my rights to eat and kill animals. At first, this proposal seems like it's a compromise. However, I'll examine it and show that it is not a compromise. A compromise is an agreement or a settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions. I've used a hypothetical quite a few times with people to try to explain how this proposed compromise is not really a compromise. And so far, I haven't heard anyone really refute it or even try to analyze why it isn't right. But let's say you have, let's just take the geographical region normally known as the UK today, basically Ireland, Scotland, England, Shetland, York, Orkney Islands, Isle of Man. We'll take all that. We'll take it back to basically 1100 AD, and we'll analyze it from the point of view of the Viking race. Now, try to set this up analogous to the situation that meat eaters like to propose with their compromise. Okay, so in this scenario, the Vikings will be human beings need to eat plants. All of us need to eat plants. I've yet to hear of a person living a long, healthy life eating nothing but animals. As far as I know, it's not really a viable option. Just in the same way that around 1100 AD, if you lived in basically the modern day UK, adding in Southern Ireland, you would basically be forced to deal with Viking raids. There was no way around it. You either had to fight them off or get used to the idea of them taking over your country. So, much as in the same way that you have to eat plants, or you have to at least rely upon plants for your animals that you eat. The animals that you eat, they have to eat plants too. I've yet to hear anyone that lives primarily or completely off of carnivores. And even then, at some point, the carnivore would eventually wind up needing their prey to eat plants. There's no way around it. Someone has to eat fucking plants in the scenario for humans to live. Okay? And then you have the meat eaters. We're going to set them up as the English. Now, let's say the English, hypothetically speaking, in the same way that meat eaters want to eat meat, the English want to invade Ireland and they want to ravage Ireland, they want to steal from Ireland. That's what they do. Let's say Scotland, they have a very unique kinship to the Irish. They don't like the idea of anyone going in there for unnecessary purposes, attacking them, pillaging them, raping them. They don't like it. They want to see it stop. They haven't actually intervened in any substantial way. All they've done so far is just petition the English to stop invading Ireland. Now, in this scenario, let's say an English diplomat and a Scottish diplomat, they meet together and they want to hash this out. They want to try to come to an agreement, or at least the Scottish definitely do. And when they get together, the English say, I tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what we'll do. You like being able to defend yourself from the Vikings. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to allow you to keep defending yourself from the Vikings, and at the same time, we're going to continue to invade Ireland. See, tit for tat. Like, you get to defend yourself from Vikings, and we get to invade Ireland. Sounds pretty fair, right? Totally reasonable. But at the same time, you have to realize is that they're not really equal, because in that scenario, the only person or the only side that's making a compromise under that type of proposal is Scotland. They're the ones that gain nothing from it. And England continues to pillage and rape and steal from Ireland. England is the one receiving extra benefits from the proposal, even though they've already been doing it in the past. Let's keep in mind, Ireland was never theirs to begin with. It was the Irish's goods, services, their people. That's theirs. Much in the same way that animals, their goods, their services, those are theirs. And just because England has been taking from them this whole time, that doesn't somehow make Ireland or Irish people, it doesn't make them theirs. So all along they've been taking things that they never really had any sort of necessity to take. So, and that's much like the current scenario today. Meat eaters, they really don't need to take all these things from animals. I would venture to say we don't really need to take much of anything from them. So, if you would agree with the claim that it is a compromise for vegans to just continue to let meat eaters kill animals as they please, then I think you'd also have to agree that it would also be right in that scenario for the Scottish people to just sit there and say, okay, well, yeah, you're going to let us continue to fight the Vikings, so yeah, I guess you can go ahead and attack Ireland. And keep in mind, England, this whole time, they have absolutely no reason to oppose Scotland defending itself from the Vikings. Hell, if anything, if the Vikings overran the Scottish people, that would probably just make it easier for the Vikings to one day conquer them. So really, it's in their best interest for Scotland to continue fighting the Vikings to the north of England. If anything, if anyone has any leverage in the situation, it would probably be Scotland. So it's pretty ridiculous to think that Scotland in that scenario would feel as though they've been given something. They haven't been. So to wrap this up, let's go back to the definition of compromise. An agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions. So, under the proposal by meat eaters that vegans should respect meat eaters' choice to kill animals in exchange for meat eaters allowing vegans to continue eating plants. Let's see if that meets the criteria. So, vegans, they're being asked to make a concession because they're being asked to go against their beliefs. They're being asked to allow these animals to die when each side clearly knows that this goes well beyond their ethical beliefs, goes well beyond their boundaries, so they're definitely making a concession. They're standing by and watching all these animals get brutally slaughtered. But what are the meat eaters giving up? Well, apparently they are proposing that they are giving up the concession of allowing vegans to do the exact same thing that they do and have absolutely no qualms with whatsoever. That's not a compromise. It's not a concession. Billy! Put that orange down!
But I like oranges.
Don't you have any respect for my beliefs? You know that I'm an ardent supporter of all plant life equally. I cannot just stand by idly while you desecrate that orange. Have a little respect for my beliefs. Put it down. Now, if meat eaters actually held some sort of position, which you just saw in the dramatic hypothetical, the meat eaters in their proposed compromise might have a leg to stand on. They might actually be giving something up, but that's not a position they actually have, so they're not actually giving anything up.